Hi there, welcome to Tarot Land Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Virgo energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row I'll refer to as high vibe Virgo energy. The bottom row, a more worldly, shadowy Virgo energy. We've all got our dualistic nature and we have free will and we have to make decisions in our life. And we kind of battle within ourselves. We have our more worldly nature, which can be that we just want to stay in our comfort zone, our fear, our insecurity, our pride, our ego, all these different things. And we might want to live life differently and change some habits or some viewpoints or heal or grow or mature ourselves. But some people could be struggling within themselves about doing that because maybe it would mean they'd have to change jobs or friendships or relationships. And some people could be struggling. Some other people are done with the battle within themselves. Some people decided to keep living life the way they've been living it. Some people have no interest and don't feel a need to change yet. We all heal and grow and look at life differently at different times in our life. And when some people are going to stay the same, or because of their fear or their insecurity or their pride or their ego, they don't want to change their life. Other people are ready to move forward in life differently, and some of those people are moving forward in life differently. We just view life differently than we used to view it. And we all tap into Virgo energy. High vibe Virgo is about willing to do the inner work to free yourself from things that manipulate you. And some people don't want to put in the work and effort to free themselves from what manipulates you because the truth sets us free. But we have to be willing to see the truth. And some people don't want to see the truth about themselves, don't want to see the truth about other people, and we've all been there. So, no judgment. Life's a journey of learning lessons. When we're ready to deal with the truth, we'll deal with the truth. When we'll face our fears, we'll face our fears. When we learn to love and believe in ourselves, we'll love and believe in ourselves. It's just that, we could wish other people would see the truth, and we can't make other people deal with the truth or heal or grow or mature themselves. And shadowy energy can be that some people are more about themselves. Some people are more indulgence-driven, ego-driven, materialistic-driven. And some people don't want to do love. You can get hurt doing love, and they don't want to go there and do that. So, we just need to see the truth. If you harness high vibe Virgo energy as we go through this story, you would probably want to do with other people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy, meaning just that they've learned some of the same lessons you've learned in life about how to treat other people in a just and fair and loving and authentic or respectful way, And not everybody's learned those lessons. At the end, we're going to get some cards out to ask what could be a potential outcome that people don't see coming, depending on if they do harness some more high vibrational Virgo energy or a more worldly, shadowy Virgo energy. So it's kind of interesting. The bottom row is the Four of Pentacles, which can talk about there's a way of living life and viewing life that I'm not willing to let go of. Probably because we have fear of doing things differently. And we'd have to offer love to our fears and our insecurities to free ourselves from those things manipulating us. And until we're ready, some people aren't going to do it. They're going to stay in the same job, friendships, relationships, way of living life, way of viewing life. Maybe they are more materialistically driven or self-driven, don't want to open up. Maybe, you have to get out of your pride and ego to be willing to learn lessons in life. And the high vibro, the reason it came out is because of the Leo sun energy, which in shadow can be we were more in our ego, more caught up in the world, more caught up in whatever, right? And we get in relationships and friendships and workplaces with people. And as time goes by, we could realize that some people are more aligned with their worldly, egoic, self-interest nature than in high vibe Leo, being more authentic, warm, loving, enlightened to the truth about what it means to work cooperatively with people, So let's go look at the top row. We have the Lover's card. the Five of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Ace of Wands. The Five of Pentacles is letting go of the Four of Pentacles. There was a way of living life. I could have loved it at one time. I could have been in friendships and relationships and jobs and ways of living life that I could have loved. But there was something about it. Down here we have the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy also. Something about it was causing me inner conflict, or maybe when I got into a situation, I did have some unresolved inner conflict. Maybe I hadn't learned to love myself. Maybe I did have more of these fears and insecurities of loving and believing in myself. Moving forward, being willing in the Five of Pentacles to go through a period of maybe feeling left out in the cold as I move forward, kind of in the Hangman, looking at life differently and connecting in with my emotions and my intuition and how I view the world and what I believe is possible, and looking at life differently is what the Hangman can talk about, and expanding our perception of how we view ourselves in the world. And we all could have been at a time in our life, and we've all been there, where, the thought of moving forward, we're afraid maybe things won't work out the way we want and we'll feel stuck. And so then we're kind of more inspired to keep repeating an old pattern than having hope and faith and belief in ourselves and in our dreams. So we've all stayed in jobs, friendships, and relationships, even though we could have had inner conflict about staying in it or living our life that way. But, we'll all repeat a pattern until we start, it's causing us so much inner conflict and we're feeling left out in the cold, doing what we keep doing, that we might decide to meditate on the truth, is what the Four of Swords can talk about. I have past pain and heartbreak, I have fears, I have insecurities, I have this idea of what I think is just and fair. I'm working with other people and they have their idea of what's just and fair. And the reason I say that is because the 2 and the 3 and the 4 of Swords is Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice. That has to do with what we think is just and fair. And we come in contact with all these different people in the world to help us get more clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And if we keep moving forward, kind of having some hope and faith and belief that things will change, that everybody will have more hope and faith and belief in love one day, and we keep moving forward, living our life the way we live it, and we're moving forward with other people, if we keep feeling stuck, because that's what the Hangman can talk about, and in the 10 of Wands, we kind of keep feeling overwhelmed, there gets a point where people kind of see the truth. If I keep doing what I'm doing, and I keep maybe holding back from loving myself, I am kind of indulging in the Page of Cups, my more emotionally immature, maybe codependent nature. And I could certainly have love for some people. And I can keep repeating this over and over and over. Or I can, High Vibe Virgo goes within to see the truth. And from the 4 of Pentacles to the 5 of Pentacles, we added the Ace of Pentacles. And Virgo is that aspect within ourself that goes within to look at those things that were hidden in the dark, to deal with the truth. What is the truth about why I have been doing what I have been doing? Where do I need to heal and grow and mature myself? How do I need to expand my perception of myself? Do I love myself? Don't I love myself? What about the people I'm in relationship with? Where do they need to heal and grow and mature themselves? Are they willing to be more authentic and loving and just and fair? Am I? And we kind of realize in the fives can talk about change. I can love other people, but I can't make other people change. I can't make other people heal. I can be loving and encouraging to people, but if they still have their own inner conflict and their past pain and heartbreak, or their self-limiting beliefs, or their fearful nature, or their immature nature, or their materialistic nature, or their egoic, self-defensive nature, I can't make them see the truth of it. The Ten of Wands in high vibe is about higher learning and education. And when I live my life a certain way and I keep having this inner conflict, feeling left out in the cold, feeling stuck, feeling overwhelmed, high vibe people kind of are illuminated to the truth that I need to offer my self-love. If I don't want to keep repeating this past pattern and I can't change other people, I need to see the truth of it. I can offer other people peace and love and encouragement. But if I want to move forward looking at life differently, being inspired to have hope and faith and belief in myself and in love, and I want to learn to love myself and offer love to myself, to work through my fears, my insecurities, my self-limiting beliefs, my more immature, egoic, codependent ways of being. And I'm motivated and inspired to drop the burden so that I can come out with the Ace of Wands and have a brand new beginning. I want to work through those things that overwhelm me, that could cause me to keep repeating this pattern over and over. I want to be free of what manipulates me. And that's what high vibe energy is about. I need to deal with the truth of what manipulates me. When I am in some sort of shadowy energy, indulging poor behavior in myself or others, there's going to be other people that are going to be happy to be in a relationship with me. Perfect. I'll move forward with you in a relationship. This is great. Let's both be more fearful, insecure, codependent, immature, being in our ego, feeling stuck, and let's indulge ourselves in this relationship. Shadowy Ten of Wands is kind of like indulging yourself. And people can do that for a long time. But eventually it's like, I want things to change. And if I've been offering love and encouragement to the people in my life to move forward with me, to look at life differently, to expand their perception of themselves in the world and work through their fears and insecurities, there comes a point in time where people are like, you know, I wish you peace, but I can't keep doing this. And I am inspired to go have this new beginning, whether you want to come with me or not. It's your free will choice. But I'm not going to repeat this old pattern. And that's what some high vibe people are doing. Even in their shadow nature, they want to hold on to some people in their life because they have love for them. It could be your adult children, it could be your siblings, your parents, friends, romantic interests. But I'm inspired to live my more authentic life and free myself from what manipulates me, and to be in authentic, loving, warm, nurturing, supportive environments. And, you know, some people want to come with you because you're in that energy, but they don't want to do this work within themselves. Like, some people can look to other people like, well, no, I'm not supposed to have to do that within myself. I want to be in a relationship with you to make me feel better. Well, the whole problem is sometimes, you know, we've been there and we've done that. And the people that think, no, I don't have to do that within myself. I don't have to work through those issues. I have an idea. That's like shadowy Four of Swords. I have inner conflict. I feel left out in the cold. I have an idea. I feel stuck. I feel overwhelmed. I'm going to go get in a relationship with someone who's loving and warm and encouraging. They are going to be the answer to all my problems. But they still haven't dealt with the issues that manipulate them. They still could be someone who doesn't like to open up, might like to not step out of their comfort zone. Like, they want to stay viewing life and living life the way they do, but they want to be in relationships with other people who freed themselves so you're not in that energy, and you're not overwhelmed, and you're not maybe being immature or selfish or stubborn or unwilling to look at things from any other perspective. You have freed yourself from those things, and they want to move forward with you. You being in that energy, them still being in their energy. And for some people, they think that's just and fair. They'd have a great time. They'd love indulging in a relationship with you. Them being like them, you being like you. But the problem is, you want to be in a relationship with someone who's also freed themselves from some of those things, like you have. So you can be in a relationship with someone who inspires, encourages you to love and believe in yourself, because they offer love and encouragement to themselves to be more authentically themselves and loving and warm. And then you're in a relationship with someone who's kind of on the same page as you. And so, because of that, some of you have already distanced yourself from some people that, you are moving forward in workplaces, friendships, or relationships with them. And, again, it could just be that you kind of got inspired to look at life differently, and you don't look at life the same way you did. You're not the same person that you were at one point in time. And sometimes, when you're not kind of in the same energy of how you view life and view yourself and view the world, you are kind of like a different person. It's like you shed an old layer of yourself, and you learn the lessons you were meant to learn from that phase of life, and you're ready to move forward and kind of face your fears about moving forward in life differently. But some other people still aren't. And some of them just don't understand how you're doing this in your life. And they'd like to kind of move forward with you, but they could feel kind of like a little bit of a lack mentality. We've all probably hung around with people before growing up in our life where it's like, wow, you seem much more confident or bold or brave, or you're just more authentically yourself and more comfortable with yourself than I am, and I'm not there yet. And, a lot of times we don't wish people ill will. We're just like, I'm not there yet, and I'm going to hang out with my friends, and hopefully one day we all hope to be there, but we're not there yet. And we can kind of be friends, but, I kind of feel like maybe you want to go find someone who's more like you and a little maybe more, I don't know. It just can be this kind of lack mentality and feeling stuck because we still have things that manipulate us that don't seem to manipulate other people. Now, if we were to communicate with some people in our life that, gee, how do you do that? How do you not let these things bother you that kind of bother me? And, if we're willing to do that, we can have loving, supportive people in our life that, offer us resources and encouragement. But, sometimes that's not how you view life, it can be really hard to wrap your brain around it. And hopefully you can think of some examples in your own life. I know I definitely have some examples in my life where it's like, wow, I can't believe that you're more willing to just say this or do that or be, and, it takes time to kind of get out. The bottom row can be where you're kind of caught up in the illusion of the world. The Four of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, which can represent the world. All these kind of rules and regulations that we think of how we need to live our life, and maybe being more caught up in being worried about how people view us. And we have all these unwritten rules like, well, I can't do that. And I can't, and really high vibe energy is, why can't you? If you're operating from truth and love, and you're not trying to hurt anyone, and you're being authentic and loving, why do you let all those things overwhelm you? Why do you have all these unwritten rules in your head? And Taurus energy can be, Taurus energy kind of is about our philosophy of life. And maybe we got so caught up in holding on to this old way of viewing life, which could have been kind of how we were, we're all brought up in whatever family dynamic we're brought up in, community, state, country, world at the time we grow up in the world at different stages in life for different people. We have a way of viewing life and how people should act and people should dress and what people shouldn't do and this is right and this is wrong and just even like, oh, well, we can't go there, not unless these people go there, because if we went there and those people weren't there, then it would look like, I don't know, we go there frivolously or something, and it's only okay to go there if these other people go there, And it's kind of like, how about I don't let all those things manipulate me and I just live my authentic life? And, because we've all been children before and we were brought up in certain ways of viewing life and kind of indoctrinated into the world to view life certain ways, some people are still really indoctrinated. And as we get older, hopefully we get out of our more immature codependent ways of viewing the world and we really start to see the truth and start to live our more authentic life. Everybody could have their way of living life and they go do what they do and spend their time, energy, and effort investing in certain things. I don't know, maybe because people before them did that. What is my truth? And high vibe Taurus is getting to where you're really walking the talk. And all of us in our Taurus energy, about our philosophy of life over time, our philosophy of life changes. The way we looked and viewed at life and relationships at 15 was different at 18 and at 21 and at 25 and at 35 and at 45. We're not the same person we were before. And hopefully throughout our life, we learn to love and believe in ourselves. And I kind of view high vibe Leo, because it's represented by the sun, of choosing to align with our more high vibrational loving nature within ourselves. I don't want to stay in more codependent energy. I'm not a child anymore. I need to learn to be the person. I love me. I need to offer myself love, compassion, forgiveness for the lessons I've had to learn. And I don't want past pain and heartbreak and people in my life that I could have loved that maybe had some healing to do, that weren't very loving and nurturing. They could have been overwhelmed by their own issues that maybe they didn't heal from. They maybe could have been a little stubborn about looking at life from any other perspective or anyone else's perspective. Maybe more kind of caught up in these things of the world or in themselves or their fear. And I don't want that to keep manipulating me. And I'm going to offer love to it. Everybody is where they were at. Everybody is where they are at. We all have the free will to free ourselves and work through these things to be a more authentic, just, fair, loving, emotionally mature person. And some people haven't realized or don't want to change, don't want to put in the work and effort it takes to work through those things. And we just deal with the truth of it. I accept that people are where they're at, and I'm not going to let it make me feel left out in the cold and overwhelmed. The hangman is about being illuminated to the truth. The only person I can change is me. And I'm going to offer love to the situation to move forward and keep believing in myself and believing in my dreams. And I'm going to offer love and encouragement to other people in my life. Am I going to get in a more involved relationship with them? No, because I've already probably been in relationships with people who have those certain traits, characteristics, and ways of viewing life. And I've already found out I don't like being in relationships with people who haven't freed themselves from those ways of being to be more authentic and loving and warm. But I can know lots of people in my family, in my workplace, in my community. I can be loving and encouraging and to all sorts of people. But I'm going to hold back from people who I think still kind of harness these energies in a more shadowy way. Because again, sometimes there's people that are in more shadowy energy. The truth is, they want to keep repeating this old pattern, but they can try to present themselves as more high vibrational than they are, because how they're living their life isn't working out, but they haven't seen the truth. They're still kind of motivated and inspired by their competitive nature is what the Five of Wands can be. That they think it's just and fair to be motivated and inspired more by status and ego and image. And indulging themselves in relationships. And they could be attracted to people. And I want to go get in a relationship with them. It would look like I moved on. Look like I had a new beginning. Looks like I maybe, I grew, I healed, I matured. But it's just kind of they want that new beginning, but they really haven't done this inner work within themselves. But they're going to leave the people they were hanging out with, maybe because they feel stuck. And again, it's like, boy, it'd be great to be in a new relationship with you. But they're still shadowy. So, I think high vibe people have learned I can get to know people, but I'm going to, in an energy of balance and love for myself, get to know people and to try to get to the truth of what really drives and motivates them. Because I don't want to get in another mismatched relationship. I only want to be in relationships with people who have not holding on to that old way of viewing life, living life, who have looked at life differently, who have been illuminated to some of the same truths in life, that love is supposed to be where you treat other people like you like to be treated, that you treat people in a just and fair way, that you act high vibe Taurus with character and integrity, you walk the talk. You don't get in a relationship and then think I can act in pride and ego and stubbornness. And that's what some people do. I know. I'm going to try to get someone who's loving and nurturing to get them to get in a relationship with me. And then once I think I have them in the relationship, because I'm overwhelmed about doing life differently and healing and growing and maturing myself, then I'm going to act kind of stubborn. And I know this person loves me, and because they put in a lot of work and effort to try to get other people to love and believe in themselves, they'll just keep doing that like forever. Staying right here where I want them, where I don't have to change, and they just keep putting a lot of work and effort to get me to change. Wonderful. This works for me. And eventually high vibe people see the truth of it. You're never going to change. If you were motivated and inspired to work through your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, your more materialistic view of life that drives and motivates you, and be more authentic and loving, you would be. And eventually the high vibe people wish them peace. And just like some of you have done that in your life, some other people might be doing that in their life right now. And then as some of you are moving forward, already having these new beginnings, some other people in the world are just going through this process of realizing I am willing to go through a period of feeling left out in the cold and I need to look at life differently, and I need to learn to align with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature, or I'm going to maybe be tempted to repeat this old pattern. And again, they could look to other people that are more high vibrational to be a loving, encouraging support system in their life. And those people could be. But am I going to get in a more involved relationship? No. Not until you have done this work within yourself to kind of love and believe in yourself. Because, it's kind of like if you indulge people in their more shadowy behavior in a way, their fear, their insecurity, maybe their ego, manipulative ways, immature ways, there's not a lot of incentive to change because I already got you in a relationship with them, right? And so high vibe people have learned, I can be loving and encouraging to people, but the pages can represent, it kind of stays at a friendship level, like you're an acquaintance just like everyone else I know. And I can be a loving and encouraging person in your life. Am I going to get in a more involved relationship and move forward with you? No, I can have love for you. And it could cause me inner conflict, and I'd really like to maybe heal it, and I might be really attracted to you. But I'm not going to be tempted in my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. If I want my dream to come into reality, my dream can only come into reality with people who are in that same energy. And until they do that work within themselves to make peace with their past and things that manipulate them to be free of those things, you're going to keep moving on. And the people in your life that are kind of on the same page as you, you know, you're all moving forward, continuing to like grow and heal and mature yourself. High vibe energy, in tarot, I view the Knight of Pentacles as Virgo energy, and the Knight of Pentacles wants to become the King of Pentacles, which can represent male or female, where you really are who you say you are in the world. It's not like, look at me and what I wear and what I own and how much money I have and look how stable or grounded or attractive or how much money I got. You should get in a relationship with me. That's kind of more people who are more driven and motivated by the world, and then you come to find out they're kind of emotionally immature. High vibe people really are who they say they are, and they have learned all these life lessons. They are stable, they are grounded, they are self-aware, they are emotionally mature. They've worked through these things to be a more authentic, loving, just, fair person. And that's who you want to be in a relationship. People who really are who they say they are. Not people who try to create an illusion that's who they are, when really they really indulge their more immature nature, you know? And they want you to also. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy? And I think as you're moving forward, there's some people in your life that you're offering love and encouragement, and you know, it's hard to change that philosophy of life and look at life differently. Because if we did make ourselves more important, more about me, my wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego, what? You know, that's a different way of looking at a relationship. Being more authentic, I can't hide behind my self-protective, defensive nature. I'd have to let my more hopeful, believing inner child come out to play in the world. I don't know if I can do that. It's like, well then, keep doing this. This is what I'm doing. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? The Page of Cups. Why? Because of the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is that holding that one Ace of Pentacles. Because you were willing to do this work to be a student of life and to do this work even though it was overwhelming. Because when you've done the work to work through your own past pain, heartbreak, fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs, you know why other people don't do it. Because it's painful. And it really gets to working through all the self-pity and blaming everyone else for your problems and accepting, you know, the only person really holding me back is me. I can let other people hold me back. There can be people who are loving, or people I love that were competitive, who thought it was just unfair to leave me out in the cold, who acted from pride and ego, who tried to overwhelm me, were bossy, controlling, egotistical, whatever. I'm not willing to give up my dreams. I wish them all peace. Hope it works out for you. I'm moving on. And I'm not willing to give up my dreams. And because you are willing to do that work, that allows you to make peace with the past, to let it go. It doesn't keep you stuck and overwhelmed anymore. And it's a process. And then as you do that, there's going to be other people that have kind of are in that same energy as you, that are going to want to invest in you and get to know you because they see that you're not competitive, overwhelmed, immature, manipulative, prideful, egotistical, selfish, whatever, you know? And they've been looking for people like you to get in a relationship. Just like as you move forward, you're looking for people who are more on the same page as you. And you're looking to people that you, not the people in your life who you already know, are in that shadowy energy. So you're looking to be open to meeting new people. And that's the people you're investing your time, energy, and effort into. And because you're doing that, some people in your life have a lot of inner conflict, and they do feel left out in the cold, and they might feel stuck and overwhelmed. But they're unwilling to offer the truth. The truth sets us free. And you have to be willing to get out of your ego. And you have to be willing to open up. And you have to be willing to be more inspired by truth and love. And some people are like, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm just going to keep doing this. And so then they go back. They give in to wanting to maybe feel better. But instead of being enlightened to the truth that is love and telling the truth and being authentically yourself and working through these things, they're going to keep repeating a past pattern. And they'll think it's going to work, that that's going to be the answer. It'll change their life. That all they got to do is invest their time, energy, and effort into other things, other people, whatever, or the same things they've been investing their time and energy into, thinking it'll have a different outcome. But they haven't changed. And the whole thing is, if you're going to work together with other people, if you keep refusing to change, and you keep repeating the same old pattern, well, and some people don't want to think it's them that needs to change. Well, no, it's the other people that need to change, you know? Kind of like you can try to make other people change. And really, you don't have to try to get other people to change. It's just that we have people in our life we want to hold on to and ways of living life and viewing life that we don't want to change. But if the way we're living life and the people we're hanging out with, it keeps us feeling stuck and overwhelmed, and the only person we can change is us. And so then we do that work to change. And the other people like, nope, not me. I just need to go find, and it's true. We're all just looking for people who are on the same page as us. It's just that some people never plan to move forward in life any differently. They're still got their inner conflict, still overwhelmed, still more about the world, still more maybe about themselves or their ego or being indulged, looking to indulge someone else to indulge them, or someone to indulge to have these things of the world, instead of loving and believing in themselves and getting out a more codependent energy. And so then the pages can represent authenticity, having that hopeful, believing spirit, getting out of your more egoic nature, where you feel like you're in relationships with people you can trust, not people who are competitive, that want to try to manipulate you, because high vibe energy is about being truthful and honest and just and fair and authentic and acting with character and integrity. So you can, you're dealing with emotionally mature people. You can be authentically yourself. And there's some people that are very competitive and very egotistical, and everybody is the competition, and everybody is someone they need to defeat, and everybody is someone they need to kind of try to overwhelm and lord over, because it should be more about them or something, What's coming up for people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? The Six of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Death card and the Nine of Swords. So the Six of Pentacles, like the Five of Pentacles, is Taurus energy. Shadowy relationships, which Taurus energy is about all these different things in the world, workplaces, relationships, marriages. Again, our philosophy of life. Some people have a more transactional view of life. Well, no. It isn't about being just and fair and authentic and vulnerable. I think, it's maybe a little bit more that the scales, it's about getting in a relationship to get what you want, maybe. The reason is because of the death to completing a cycle. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit, and this is the 9. So there's this one truth that stops them from moving forward in life differently, that they hold back from. And it can just be dealing with the truth. They don't want to see the truth about something, about how they view themselves or the world or how they view relationships. And if they have a more transactional view of relationships, it could be that whoever seems to have more of what other people want, that person should be deferred to in the relationship. Which I'm starting to begin to think that's why some people who have that viewpoint in life, they really get scared about being in relationships with people where they feel like they want to love them because they could feel it makes them too vulnerable. That they're maybe not listening to their intuition, and maybe because they've had other people in their life that they loved who did abuse the love that they had for them. So now they don't trust anybody. But that keeps them not being in more authentic and loving relationships. But so because they're so afraid of being more authentic and loving, they let the loving people go. They hold back from them because they're afraid those people will try to manipulate them and use the love that they have for them against them. That they kind of maybe could invest in people who they think even have more inner conflict and who might be more overwhelmed. Maybe I'll play that loving role in your life and be a nurturing, supportive person to you until, if you ever heal or grow or mature yourself and you want to be in a more authentic and loving relationship, then I'll hold back from you and I'll go find someone else who maybe has inner conflict, who feels left out in the cold, who might feel stuck and overwhelmed, and basically they'll go indulge in a relationship. Let's go indulge in a relationship with someone, and that's why some of the people you get in a relationship, it's really confusing because you did view them as a lot as being like you, because they could have been loving and nurturing and encouraging and supportive, and they were, until you kind of freed yourself from some things that manipulated you, and then you were wanting to move forward in life in a more authentic and loving relationship, and they're like, oh, no, draw the line there. I am not going there. Nope, you go. I'll go find someone else to get in a relationship with. If you're 9 swords up in your head, you're focused on one cup of love in your heart, and some people, the only cup of love, it's kind of very, like a very self-protective, and that's what shadowy Leo energy can be, that anyone can harness. I am self-protective. I am overwhelmed at letting my inner child out to play, even though their own inner child nature is like, can we please offer love to ourselves so that we can move forward and be in more authentic, loving relationships? And they're like, nope, I have inner conflict about that. We have past pain and heartbreak we haven't healed from, and we've decided we're going to go indulge in the world to feel better. It'll make us just as happy as love. Let's go get in a relationship where we're not up in a mental prison about love. Maybe go get in a relationship with someone we don't even love. Because then we are at no risk of being hurt. Or let's go make our life about indulging in these things of the world, or making our life more about money or materialism or status and image, and get in a relationship with someone who's willing to stay in a relationship with us for those reasons. And they don't ever require us to look at life differently or be more authentic or loving or warm, because they're maybe not either. So then, shadowy people can always have high vibrational people in their life who would like to do equal give and take in a relationship. And they've been trying to offer love and encouragement for some of these people to get out of being in a mental prison about love. Some of those people are going to keep putting this work and effort. no, I have someone here. I'm trying to get them to look at life differently. It's like, okay, you do that. I'm going to move on while you do that. And I've been there, I've done that. And while we do that, other people move on in their life, right? And then there's going to be other people that are like, nothing's ever going to change here. And I'm done being in my head about it. I'm going to wish them peace. And they can be up in their head, in their fear and their insecurity about money or themselves or their defensive nature. And I'm going to move on. And I'm going to go find people who are more on the same page as me. And the people ultimately who might end up staying in a relationship with someone who's more worldly or shadowy or self-indulgent or immature or competitive or has their ideas of what they think is just and fair, but it's really kind of them being indulged in a relationship in some way. The other people who are willing to keep staying in a relationship, could be people for the stability or security of just being in a relationship who don't love and believe in themselves until they do. And I think when people are when they know I am not willing to do life differently, I know I have a lot of inner conflict, I know I got past pain and heartbreak, but I do not want to deal with the truth of it. I do not want to see the truth within myself. I do not want to see the truth about other people in my life that maybe caused me pain and heartbreak because I love them. And I have a hard time reconciling that someone I love, I'd also have to admit they're a fallible human being, cannot do that. I think they're just going to keep feeling overwhelmed because they get in relationships and they don't want other people to heal or grow or mature themselves. And they're always really afraid that the other people they get in a relationship with will heal. And then those people are going to want to move forward and not make their life more about them or more about the world or staying in a relationship because of their own inner conflict and overwhelm. Because some of these people never want to work through theirs. And they don't want other people to either. But other people do. And it's just some people refuse to do it. I refuse to look at life any differently. If I'm more about myself, I'm going to stay more about myself. If I'm more competitive, bossy, controlling, manipulative, selfish, whatever, I don't ever plan on changing. Well, they might have a harder time finding people to be in a relationship, the more shadowy traits and characteristics that they have, right? And they might not see that coming, that other people aren't going to keep staying up in their head about them. People can love them and people are like, you know what, you do you, but I'm going to move on. Whether those are friends or family members, it's just like, oh my God, I'm not going to keep indulging you in a shadowy way. Could I love you? Could I want to be in a relationship with you? Do more equal give and take? Yes, but it takes two. If I'm the only one putting in work and effort to kind of maintain balance in this relationship, apparently it's not very balanced. And I'm tired of kind of feeling left out in the cold, overwhelmed and stuck. You do you, and I'm going to do me. And some of the people, then it's like, fine. And then they go just keep repeating the same pattern with someone else. It's just to see who's going to keep staying in it because they have fear of seeing the truth and becoming independent of them. It's kind of like at the big picture, shadowy energies represented by the devil. The devil and our own shadow nature, our own fear, insecurity, prideful, immature, lazy nature does not want us to love and believe in yourself. And there's shadowy people in our life who could have been hurtful and unkind and all those things, still are, and they don't want us to love and believe in ourselves and go on and have a new beginning. And some people are like, I'm not going to let people who are immature, unkind, unjust, unfair keep me from living my best life. You do you, and I'm going to do me. And then those people can feel overwhelmed because you were enlightened to the truth. And it's an end when you're living more from your mind than your heart, you're trying to manipulate and control people. And it's like, shit, they saw the truth. Now I gotta go find someone else, And sometimes people hold back from you, and they try to get you in competitive energy, and they do ignore you, and they pay more attention to other people to try to get you in that competitive energy so that you will keep, being confused about the truth. The truth is you should leave some of those people's asses, But it's this manipulation tactic of having you up in your head because they know you want this to work. And eventually it's like, if they aren't working cooperatively with me, being truthful and authentic and loving, then apparently they're either shadowy or this is not the relationship they're interested in. And not everyone who's holding back from us is in shadowy energy. They're in their own loving, authentic relationships. And part of them could want to be in a relationship. We can know people in the world that we're kind of attracted to, other people attracted to us. We don't want people coming towards us in shadowy energy and lust and greed and pride and ego. No, you keep going. and then those people have to think about, well, what is my truth? Why am I moving forward with the people I'm moving forward with? Are these people really being just and fair and loving? Why do I keep staying in a relationship with them? Was it more because am I, and it kind of illuminates when you offer truth and love to other people, kind of forces them to do this inner work within themselves to think about, why do I do what I do? What about the people I'm hanging out with? Do I love and believe in myself? Do the people I'm in relationship with love and believe in me? Are they being loving and encouraging? Are they in the relationship with me more because of fear and insecurity and codependency? Am I in the relationship with them because of that? High vibe people, keep moving forward. I don't want to tempt anybody to be in their shadow nature, because if you come towards me in your more shadowy, lustful, greedy energy, no, I'm going to reject you anyway. Just offer people truth and love, and I keep moving. You need to work through your stuff, work through your own fears and insecurities. If you decide to detach from what you've kind of been living your life in and investing in, and you're looking at life differently and you want to get to know me, well, then we can get to know each other. But it will be getting to know each other until we find out the truth about, what is your philosophy of life? What drives and motivates you? Is it lust, greed, pride, ego, indulgence, or is it truth and authenticity and love? And the people who seem to be on the same page are the people I'll keep investing time, energy, and effort into. The people who aren't, I wish you peace, and I'm going to keep moving on. So there you go, Virgo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.